if I want to, let's say at 70, 75, not have wrinkles so fast, what should I do?
Have realistic expectations.
Okay, Renita, we're going to talk about two things which most people searched on internet for you. Okay? One was your age and one was about your spouse. Nobody knows about your spouse.
The first product for sensitive skin, it was given as an ultimatum to me.
So every product in Chosen till now is curated because there was a request from the community.
You need to fix me, doctor.
Oh, saying that. Renita, it's high time, get us this.
More and more young men are coming in with hair loss.
What can be done? Can it be reversed? What's the truth? Can skin color change with creams?
I get brought babies, which are like, newborns and stuff, and say, how do I lighten?
So for someone like me, what right sunscreen to use? What should I think? How should I go about it?
You should look at the specs and you should look at safe ingredients. Because sunscreen is something that can get into the body and can affect us in the long term. But there's a list that we also say that with this you can't go into the ocean because these damage the ecosystem. Getting comfortable with sunscreen is almost as challenging as getting comfortable with a spouse. Turmeric is a photosensitizer. It's probably great when you take it internally, but for the skin, it's not recommended.
What are chemicals we should not have, which most sunscreens have?
This year, I think we should, all of us can quit using.
I know what you do now. You have a brand which really helps people, and you're very passionate about building the brand Chosen. But how did this all start?
I'd thank you first. Thank you so much for having me here. So, dermatology, I think it started as medicine. I've been exposed to, my family has a bunch of doctors. My dad is a doctor, and I've been exposed to people that speak about medicine as a practice. And I also belong to the generation where growing up, you could only be a doctor or an engineer.
So you're from the South India where you only two choices, either be an engineer or a doctor.
Otherwise, you're a waste of everybody's time. So you're a burden on the planet. You had to be a doctor or an engineer. So back then, it was like a lot of pressure at every step. Somebody who's graduated top of school, who's stood state first. Failing first year in MBBS. Wow. They couldn't take it. But all through this, I was just, getting by with MBBS. I think I really realized who I was as a doctor after joining post-graduation. Happened to be in dermatology in CMC Vellore, where with the right mix of heavy work, you also had access to people who had come in to serve, who had come in to create impact across the community.
So it's to serve people. Community was always there.
Impact.
That was your, okay.
Yeah. And I, because you read so much about the stories of how so-and-so made an impact, I think it's comes from being a bookworm. So then, and it was also, I would probably not be true to myself if I said that, it is only for others' good, because I do not know that, I do not know what's the word you explain, what's the word that's used to explain, but there is also a lot of gratification that comes from doing something
100%. I always say charity is a selfish act.
Very selfish act.
Because you feel good when you do.
Yes. So that wanting to go do something, I finished MD and then went into Africa to work. I was with Doctors Without Borders for one mission. We served in Kenya. I had the most amazing of people. I learned that despite being, I'm socially super awkward.
Nobody's going to believe that. See Instagram page. Nobody's going to believe that. We'll talk about that a little later. Yeah.
So back then we were thrown into a cross-cultural group of people where everybody's serving. The only common thing was like we are all here for a mission. This is going to be the story of our lives, right? And I saw myself completely fitting there.
Okay.
So I think that's a great setting. And there was also a lot of emphasis put into how leadership works, because my team was led by a nurse. And she's one of the best bosses I've ever had. And in India, that would have been unspeakable.
Yep.
So the people that led were the people that were most suited to leadership and not the people that had the highest degrees in the room.
Okay, it's not the academics which let you do it.
No. You need, the mission requires that you lead under hostile circumstances, under difficult conditions, or in peacetime or in wartime. And you need somebody that is able to move around. And that is something that I would never feel uncomfortable being led by somebody who has more creds than me in leadership. And I would never think that somebody who's more qualified than me is always up to the job. They may need our help for leadership also that's the biggest learning. Came back in here, I wanted to continue in the same field because I was in community health, community infectious diseases kind of a thing. But I think in here the ecosystem was not similar. Joined an academic setup, and for me, I'm very system led. I've had a diagnosis of ADHD as a postgraduate. So for me, if there is no system, I struggle and suffer.
Okay.
So when there's a bit of chaos around what is the goal required, what are you expected to do in the days to come? If that is not clear to me, I really struggle to manage, which is why Instagram at times feels like a barrage of onslaughts at times. So I wanted something that I could figure out a setting or system for. So then around that time, I also started my own practice. Initially, it used to be quite the hustle. I think it used to be start early, cook, leave the home, finish the work in the college, come back at 5-ish, then start practice, about 4-5 clinics on call. I've done the hustle. I never felt at that point in time that there was any better way to do it. I just followed what everybody did. This is typically how you set up practice back then. So I did that. I don't think I felt bad about any of it. Even though looking back, I feel like, how the hell did you do it? How did I even manage it? Once I set up the clinic, it used to be a fairly smallish room. But then I also decided, I researched and looked up around what would be the next thing. Because I felt that...
pause you here. For people who are starting new, what advice would you give? Because it's not easy for someone, especially doctors, because no doctors have been taught business, according to me. They have no idea about business, right?
Yeah.
Right. And what advice would you give to them? If you want to start something on your own.
If ever one is in the business of transacting with others, either for money or for benefit or for anything, I think we need to learn the nuts and bolts of that in terms of people's skills. How do you even speak to people? It works both ways. The people skills are for how best you can communicate what knowledge you have to others. And then the people skills are for you to know that you don't come from a place, you don't come from a place of being loaded or being biased or having assumptions when we deal.
Correct.
This is never taught to us. We are always taught the heuristic of, fever plus cough plus cold for more than 3 weeks may be TB.
Yep.
That's the easiest way because you're also doing population science.
Correct.
But if it is somebody that's starting out, I'd say that the knowledge of the craft, the nuts and bolts of the craft is the core. But how that nuts and bolts and that whole craft will be served is the experience.
Yep.
And because our now I think they have some life skills and all, but back then not anything much. So I think the differentiation is going to be in the experience because the core is more or less the same. And now with the AI opening everything to everybody, I don't think that the
knowledge is a problem anymore.
Anymore.
Now it's how you create the experience. So for the life skills, how do you communicate? How do you have the conversation? How do you give people that comfort? All that matters. Marketing, branding,
everything matters. And then one of the things that we are taught is like, we are taught to speak in a way that doesn't hurt the other person. And the recent learning is also that if I speak from a position where I am not hurt by what you say, I speak better. Like everything that you say hurts me, then I don't speak well.
Correct.
Like, for example, it could be a simple, in a consultation, it could be a simple thing as like, how do you know this works? Usually it's like, because I'm telling you it works. That's the thought process. Like, how do you know when you get challenged? But it could be a genuinely, how do you know this works?
Yeah,
that could be.
Yeah, I'm asking the question. How do you know it works?
How do you know it works? Because the same person, for example, if you're asking me in a podcast, how do you know X works? I will answer you.
Yeah.
But in a consultation, because you're like very busy, if you can take the question for the question without
the emotions and
that I have,
yeah,
exactly, it will be easier for us. It will be less strain, less stress to come in without a lot. But it's super difficult in the space that medicine is right now. There is a lot of mistrust from a generation of unnecessary extra trust, which has come down now.
Now that we're talking this topic, right? If somebody comes to you, read something, understood something, have all the information in their head. Okay. They already read it. Okay. And they're saying, this is my problem. And I think this is the solution. Can you help me out? What will you do? Do you get such cases?
Of course. And I would love for you to believe me when I say I really don't even get offended.
Okay.
There is not, that filter is not there. It's not been there for several years now.
Okay.
If, for example, if somebody asks me a question like this, like I know everything, there are two parts to it. You know everything, but you're asking me for expert guidance, and expert guidance is what I will give. You know everything and you want to check me if I know everything. And that is a different personality.
Yeah, there's two things. Yeah, you're bang on.
Yeah,
bang on.
I need to be able to look at the second person, because the second person potentially he's not here for the expert advice. Then I may give him a Gyan about that.
Yeah.
But the first person is looking for expert advice. I am happy to deliver all of the expert advice.
So you're going to dissect which one is it, one or two, and accordingly.
And that is the art of medicine.
So that is what you're telling people who want to start off. That is something they need to learn on their way, right? That's very, very important. But I love the way you told me that example, because I think what you're saying is bang on, especially for professionals, irrespective of medicine also, right?
Yeah.
You need to job your judgment, and people are going to read. We're an information overload.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. And it's not wrong.
It isn't.
We do it, right?
Yeah.
You read about something before you're meeting someone.
Exactly,
Let's understand.
Exactly. That's the currency now. You want to be able to know.
So first they need to trust you. Before that, they need to know you know it.
Exactly.
And you're the right person to go
and
for, right?
And they need to know that this is not a waste of their time. So they're going to look you up. They're going to Google you up. They're going to look at who you are, what you do. So it's as important. And then they're going to say, they're going to come in from a place of, I read this, but she's saying this, and it is not the same. Yeah. Then you have to spend that time there. I think my specialty and the way that practice has been built up over the years, I think we've allowed ourselves the time to be able to speak. And in our system in the clinic, we also have a system where we come back and we recoup.
Wow.
We reset before the next.
Okay. So which means you take a pause and you have whatever you need to do before you come back to the next one. Okay.
Yeah. The run rate has come down in terms of, you have to. And that is a conscious decision that has been done over the years. Initially, when the clinic was fairly small, it was difficult to do that. But even back then, it used to be that, even now our consultations are fairly long. You have a case manager coming in, then you have a consultant coming in. I am required for certain cases where they need decision-making support. But otherwise, there's almost like 40 minutes, 30 minutes that you spend. And before that, the data is collected. So everybody comes in with XYZ knowledge of what is expected for the day. I think if we can reduce waiting time, it can be poof.
That's fine. So you started small, then you build that big building with multi-story.
Oh, it's not my own building, by the way.
Yeah, your office in the
my
building.
office in the building. Yeah.
Multi-story, beautiful office. And tell me the transition, and then COVID happened, right?
Yeah.
Tell me the transition from that small to big office, then COVID.
I think Ananagar Clinic was where it started off. It was a fairly small office, and then in about I stayed small up until the time that I had my child, because I like all traditional. The traditional upbringing is that, when you grow up, you're told that, you can do this after you are married. You can do this after you have your child. I think despite all of the world travel, world views and everything, I think some things are hard ingrained, saying that, okay, if this is not there, then I can't go all out and do stuff, kind of a mental block. And I also had a lot of health issues around that time. So I stayed small up until I had my little one. And a couple of months later, we expanded to from the Nungambakam place. I mean, I had already moved clinics twice then. In Harrows, we expanded. I think at that time, 2016-ish, 2016, I think, was when I brought in the picosecond laser. Now, the picosecond laser was at that point I think it still is the most advanced laser. There's no femtosecond after that has come in almost like 10 years. It was the most advanced pigment laser that promised a lot for skin of color.
Okay, for somebody like layman who has no idea about skincare,
okay,
what that laser means, can you explain what is that first?
Okay, so basically, laser is concentrated light, right? But unlike light, which has a number of wavelengths, like general light, which has a lot of wavelengths in it, laser is usually one or two amplified wavelengths,
okay,
right? And they all have different functions. For example, one of those wavelengths can be used to cut tissue surgically.
Yep.
One of them can remove hair. A number of them can remove hair. Some of it can be used to, one particular wavelength, couple of wavelengths can be used to take out the pigment in the skin.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the normal skin tone or anything, but I'm talking about pigmentation that's there that can specifically be broken down by the laser.
Certain areas which is little dark can be worked.
Yeah, there are many pigmentary conditions, many pigmentary conditions which have more melanin, the pigment in our skin, that it can take that down. Now, the earlier technologies used to be that our skin used to get damaged. Most laser technology was made for Caucasian skin, and then as they came into India, the dermatologists here, many people before me, my colleagues, we all had to find a way to customize it for Indian skin, and I chose to work a lot around pigmentation. Back then, it was also the year that injectables, that the period that injectables, Botox fillers, all of this was booming. But I personally was drawn towards pigmentation and laser science particularly. And also it felt like there was work to be done there. So I felt there was a space for me to do something. And once it came in without our skin type recommendation. So I used to go in, look at the machine and think like, what next? What next? How is this going to help? Over the next few months.
How much is that mission just for me?
Back then it was 1 crore plus on a medical equipment loan.
Wow. So that was a big risk you took.
Back then, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When you look back, how did you do that?
When I look back, I'm so happy I was who I was, because if I am who I am, I wouldn't have taken who I am right now. I wouldn't have taken this. I think the mindset was also that we'll figure it out. And it seemed like it was very essential. It seemed like the next thing to do. And through all of this, I've been fairly an early adapter of technology. From school, college, everything. I've always tried and see what I can learn. I'm not a coder.
To serve people by getting the latest one coming in. See, I'll tell you why, Renita, I won't ask this question, because I really believe, I meet a lot of entrepreneurs. The one quality I've always seen with them is the ability to take big risks. When the whole world says don't do it.
Yeah.
You're comfortable, you're safe. Why the hell are you doing it, right? But there's a belief in them, right?
Yeah.
By doing this, I can really make a difference.
Yeah.
Or this is the right thing to do. Maybe it's a little tough, but I'll still pull it off.
Yes.
That's the reason I want to just ask the question.
Yes.
Because every entrepreneur who's successful, who's made an impact, has got the same pattern.
Yeah.
Same. That's the reason I asked that question.
And sometimes it's not even so much about a risk for the risk's sake. It is almost like you really have to take those steps when you don't know where you will land.
Yeah, it's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Not knowing how it will play out, but you know you can pull it off.
Yeah. And if you don't do it, you can't rest.
Yes. It works on your head, right?
It doesn't feel right.
Yep.
If you've seen something and if you don't do it, it just doesn't feel right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same thought process here. Good.
So after we gotten that the settings done and that positioned me as one of the global key opinion leaders or the regional key opinion leaders APAC for pigmentation.
So you're one of the first ones to bring it to India?
I was the first dermatologist.
The first one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the whole practice evolved around pigmentation, laser technology. Of course, we had mix of everything else as well. And in 2019, we were out of space, and therefore we moved it to the new premises at Egmore, where
so
we
the
are.
demand was more, and people really queued up. There was a long waiting period, so you have to go.
See, the thing about the waiting period is it can be very good in the early stages where it builds reputation.
Yep.
But if it is there is a threshold to it, there's a break point of it. If it's too much, you come across as it's a kind of implosion where you think like, okay, I've come this far, but I can go no further. But that kind of it's another kind of defeat.
Yeah.
I always have this saying that you've not come this far to come this far.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't call it defeat. It's a good problem to have. Yeah. You need to really work on.
But it's a problem to solve.
Yeah,
it is a problem to solve. So then when we moved in here, it's a very positive place. It's a lot of natural light. Thank God for the natural light and the ventilation, because COVID was to come.
Yeah.
So
no one expected that to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I came back from in 2019 after moving in here. I'd gone to China to look at the furniture. I wanted a different kind of beds because we had multiple rooms. I wanted to get a little longer one. I'd gone to China to get all of that, and I was here, I think, back in October, November. And then November, October. And then COVID, the outbreak happened like somewhere around that. I still think it's also so,
So you actually came from China. You might have thought, am I the one who's got something?
No, I was quite okay by then. So then after we moved in, we started working in units because it is multiple floors. We had the space and time.
So everything was going good. Things are going good. New place.
All was well.
All good.
All was well.
Then the master stroke.
Yes.
COVID. Yeah.
One of the things that I'd, kind of been building in the background because when you are KOL, people always look up to you for the settings of how a laser works, but they also want you to know how to walk a patient through a process. And we call that step down skincare and then maintenance skincare. So I was always looking at these specific products, topical applications, supplements to help go past all of that, which helps me get superior results. It is basically like trying to make the treatment process that much more differentiated and tighter.
Yeah.
And earlier I would work with smaller level manufacturers who try and ask people to, or I have approached larger organizations, pharma companies also to try and get me this product because I want something a little differentiated.
So you want a particular kind which can really give maximum results.
For skin of color, because most of this in the dermocosmetic segment are still Caucasian driven.
Not for Indian skins basically.
Not in the way that it can make a huge difference. It can make some difference, but there is a huge potential to do more, to be able to heal faster, because our pigmentation ability is proportionate to how long the wounds are. And all of what we do in terms of anti-aging is about controlled wounding. At least the majority of what we do is about controlled wounding. It's so important for us at that stage. So once we moved in, and then there was one more floor had come in vacant, and I said I'll have an experiential store where people will use all the products that we prescribe, especially because sunscreens came to be a huge part of self-care. It was something that, very difficult for our population because of the humidity, but we had to educate and counsel because all of the anti-aging treatments depended on sunscreen.
Sunscreen, okay.
Because without sunscreen, your treatment results would be not as durable. So we used to have these sunscreen baskets where people would try and see which suited them. And my thought process was that will be a nice experiential store. We'll get, makeup products because tints are difficult to find out. And if people want to experience anything, it'll be like one nice
So one floor had this place where people can come and use all these things.
Yes, they can it was meant to be like a value add for an experience for the clientele who came to the clinic to render. And we had a bunch of products and inventory that had been brought in specifically as a shipment because the store opened in January 2020-ish. March 21st, I think we shut down.
I'm going to pause here. I'll tell you why. Because my story is similar. Success Gyan till 2019-20 used to be physical programs. In fact, 2019 was our biggest year. We did more than 100 plus seminars across the country.
Wow.
Okay. Things are going good. Everything is going really good.
Wow.
2020 was a big number in our head. This is what we want to do. But in 2019 end, I was telling there's some of the customers we can't reach because they still prefer online or the small tier 2, tier 3, I'm not going. I'm only still doing in big cities. Why don't we start something online where next year, at least 5% of the audience I want to reach online.
Wow. Okay.
So and
it just organically happened.
Yeah. Success Gyan Academy, we started in 2019. We told the world we want to start this. Not it started. And March, COVID happened. Because the idea was already there and the know was there, within 2 weeks, we did the first online program. Similarly, because you had it for a different reason, you started the product line, the products were there, and COVID happened. Now tell me how actually Chosen started.
Okay. So the idea, the seed for a product was always there. I guess, like I said, we were dependent on the best kind of home care, maintenance care to deliver in-clinic results. So I always recognized that it was very important to have like a, good follow-through care. Earlier it used to be that you got treated for a condition. But as we moved into aesthetics, it's like how you did your maintenance at home. That became that much more important, especially like it became that, yes, of course, you could go to the dentist for a filling, but you needed to brush your teeth kind of a thing. That mentality started coming into aesthetics as well, that we needed a bit of a home care. So had been dabbling. I had been advisor to a couple of medical companies. I was KOL for a couple of companies, and I had gone in to observe how stuff is being made, and I had done a little bit of look and see. And I was one of the few people at that point in time who were primarily talking about skincare as a topic, not as just part of the, the general academic list of things. So maybe because that was an open field at that point in time. Now I think now it's become a much larger part of the education itself. And when we started that experiential store, I would have probably remained a marketplace if COVID had not happened.
The intention was to have those products and help people get what they want, so that
Or they want
the
that,
results.
yeah. They just make it more easy for people to touch and feel and break that barrier of, okay, I have to start skincare is a big thing, but just we feel comfortable, because of course people will start medicines because the doctor says, but then for the skincare, it's good if they can have a look, feel. That was the third process. And once this happened, we went into a mode where we were, my first thought in COVID was, this is a medical emergency. All medical volunteers are going to get called. So at that point, I also told my family that, if they call, I'll need to go.
So your office rent, stuff to pay, and everything stands still. But the first thought is to give back. See, if I get called, go back. Okay.
Yeah. During that time, the mode was that people would do when we started online consultations, we opened online consultations at Renda. People would come in and people would pay the Chief Minister's Welfare Fund and then bring the receipt.
So it was technically pro bono.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
So you're doing the online consultation. People pay to the Chief Minister's COVID fund.
And
then they used to show the receipt and used to do online.
We used to do online consultations. I think we raised to the tune of somewhere around 8 lakhs around that period in time. And I still hadn't thought about what to do for the team, what to do for the rent. But over a period of time, we also started seeing that there was a lot more demand for online consultations. And then slowly that started to support some part of it. Simultaneously, because we'd just taken a huge inventory for the store, we actually brought it online to be chosen, which was the marketplace.
Amazing. See how nature, how life works.
True.
Correct?
Yeah.
You had the product line.
Thought about it.
Never thought about it. Same, I would have never gone online. And so you had these product lines and you said, okay, anyway, we have the products. Why don't we do it online?
Yeah. Because my
You
intention...
had any e-commerce experience before that?
No.
Zero. Zelch. Okay, good.
At that point, my thought was that I always wanted to create the products which would be used in clinic and step down, primarily because I felt that was what I did not have at that point, and I was in development. So I would have launched that set in some time, in over a period of time. Or I would have seen how the store is, how people are comfortable.
It was not your first priority, but it's in your back of your mind. Slowly.
Because because I'm fascinated by the molecules. That was always a thought process about like what else. But when this happened, and I think that we had like about 3-4 products back then, and everything else was a marketplace product. Then we started building our own toxicology of what actually gets chosen to be on the marketplace. The rest of the requests were from the crowd, from the community, from people, from clientele. And also I was on Instagram at that point in time, and everybody was active on Instagram. So we grew together to develop subsequent, for example, the tints are picked by people.
Okay.
Yeah, even today. So we kind of grew in that space to have more products. Now, simultaneously when we went deep, because by then I had picked up a team of formulators to help lead the whole thing properly. And as we started looking in, there were a lot of gaps in which we could find spaces.
So every product in Chosen till now is curated because there was a request from the community.
There was an actual felt need which was voiced either by the community. But the first product for sensitive skin, it was given as an ultimatum to me.
Oh, saying that. Then if that's high time, get us this.
You need to fix me, doctor. This is where it is. And I told her at that point, it was a fairly large problem. It was going on for some time. And she was like, I don't know how, but you've got to fix this. I think at that point, if somebody hadn't come up and spoken to me the way they did, like, I'm here for a reason and it's you who must fix me. And it's, I think of her with a lot of gratitude to be able to come and speak and say, okay, this is it.
That's the trust they have on Dr. Renita, right? So even come back and say, Doc, you have to do this.
Humbling moment, hugely humbling moment. I still remember where I stood, where she stood, and she said, like, this is it. You've got, and that ended up becoming one of the top favorites. That it's still one of the top favorites even today at Chosen.
So that was Chosen. How many? I think 40 plus product lines now. How many people? And it's growing very, very fast. So what's your big goal with Chosen?
I believe that there are a lot of problems along the line to be solved. I think that for skin of color, we are very less understood. We have never been sat at the table for a very long period of time, unless as guinea pigs. So then now in the last 20 years, there's so much of research coming out, and I feel that our melanin, which is a very good protector against sun, but also a very big cause of persistent pigmentation, has its own story to say.
Okay.
Lots of problems here. For example, hair color induced pigmentation, or the kind of skin aging that we see and face. I'm primarily around pigmentation. So within this, I see so many subsets. People getting pigmented even from a perfume.
Okay.
So
I'm going to interrupt you. Okay. So I'm 49 now. Okay. Still no wrinkles yet. Okay. If I'm thinking pigmentation and a skin which looks good. Okay, what should I do?
The minimum is a sunscreen. We are.
The only thing which I use is a SPF 50. Is that correct?
That's decent.
Yeah. I just asked my team what is SPF.
Okay.
I had no clue what SPF was. They said today morning audit this, right? That's how bad I am, right?
No, I think that's typically was the campaign they had to undertake back in the 70s or 60s in the US to have people to get onto toothpaste.
Okay, so the dumb people like that in 70s like me, I guess. Okay.
No, because people did not know. See, it's not like food that you're hungry, you need food.
Correct.
It's a must. It's more than a must have. It's a good to have, and it's better to have kind of a thing.
So for men, at least SPF 50.
At least a sunscreen. See, SPF 50 is one of the attributes.
Okay.
There's other PA+++ and all that is more relevant for our skin types. SPF is more a protection against the cancer-causing part of the UV. It's like not just SPF is more of a UVB protection metric, but we also need UVA. And right now we need visible light protection. Then we have the lights are hot, so it's like infrared protection.
So for someone like me, what right sunscreen to use? What should I think? How should I go about it?
You look for something that's at least 30 SPF.
Okay.
You look for something that's got PA 4+.
Okay.
And because you're in the lights, which also emit a fair bit of heat, you look for something that protects you from visible light and infrared. That's typically
So all I have to see for 30 and 4+.
4+, and then it'll say visible light protection, infrared protection. You can
That's
look
all.
at.
I read that, and if I start with that, that's a good one to start.
That's a good place to start. You will find that sunscreen, getting comfortable with sunscreen is almost as challenging as getting comfortable with a spouse.
Wow. Nobody has put that connection before. Okay. Okay.
Because the thing is that compared to every other kind of skincare, this requires a certain understanding. We call it a performance skincare product, because a sunscreen has to be applied at a particular quantum for it to work.
Okay, that also is there.
Yeah.
Right, sunscreen and how much?
How much? Because it is the 30 comes from our assumption that you will use XML on the skin, compared to say you can apply perfume.
Yeah.
Then till you feel good.
Yeah.
You can wash your face till you feel cleansed. But this is a performance chemical because performance product, because it has to stay on the skin for X period of time. And then it comes with its own set of ingredients. Some of them can get absorbed into the body. Some of them don't get absorbed. Some of them can last.
What works for you? Is that what you're trying to say?
You should look at the specs, like what we discussed.
Yeah, get the specs
and you
right.
should look at safe ingredients.
Okay.
Because sunscreen is something that can get into the body and can affect us in the long term, like many other. The
skin has got pores and it can get into your body.
Yes, this can we absorb. We are exposed. We also inhale stuff, so we are exposed to a lot of chemicals in our environment, and certain chemicals in certain kind of sunscreens can have a potential impact.
So you have
in the
to
long
watch
run.
for the ingredients so that avoid all those things and find a sunscreen which doesn't have those chemicals.
Yes.
What are chemicals we should not have, which most sunscreens have?
This year, I think we should, all of us can quit using oxybenzone. This one has been found in more than, 90% of people using it in every single body fluid from people's urine to breast milk and so on. So, and this has also been associated with potential problems in the long run. Okay. And that's something that people can totally get off this year.
Look and avoid if it's
Yes. And then there's something called octinoxate, octocridine. These are the three things that come on top of the head. But there's a list that we also say that with this you can't go into the ocean because these damage the ecosystem.
That bad they are.
Then that will be called as a reef safe sunscreen. But it's very difficult because the regulations that we have are mostly borrowed from the West, and we really don't have like a lot of information here. So I personally picked up 2 ingredients to formulate with or to work with. One was something called zinc oxide, but I picked a non-nano grade because that's more eco-friendly. And we picked up something called bimotrizinol, which is at this point the one chemical filter that is absorption tested and is awaiting US FDA approval. So the European Union has different guidelines, US FDA has different guidelines, but so far among all of the chemical filters, this is the only one that's passed the test.
So you're very particular and chosen that you look for ingredients which are good for health.
Yeah.
Eco-friendly.
Yeah.
And so that's one of your criteria when you create products.
Yes. The reason I have been trying to find more and kind of getting sucked into this whole rabbit hole is also because I did not find options easily. Some of them we had to create options ourselves because at that point there wasn't this. So, because I recently authored a textbook on postgraduate academic textbook for sunscreens for skin of color.
Wow.
I've read that and I've seen that. Now I can't not cater to that.
You can't undo what you already know, so you have to fix it now.
Yes. Yeah. Now I know the problem. Then I have to fix it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how it...
That's work. Okay. So for me, if I asked you, okay, sunscreen I start with.
Yeah.
And if I want to, let's say at 70, 75, not have wrinkles so fast, what should I do?
Have realistic expectations.
Okay. Okay. I get it. But still, let's say I want to prolong it.
For me, one of the things that helps in general is to look at it very holistically. You need to have, let's look at what we don't want to have. We don't want to have high sugar. It causes the skin, hair, body to age faster, which is the same for every other organ. So that's there. And you also do not want to do bad lifestyle stuff like smoking. You also do not want to stay up late. And you also want to maintain BMI. You also want to eat the right kind of stuff. So this is...
So nutrition is very important.
Sleep. My order is this: sleep, nutrition, exercise, then skincare.
Yeah, very, very important. I think sleep is something which people really take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
So sleep is very, very important. Yeah.
Very interesting thing about how the sunscreen chemicals affected some people over others. Couple of studies, or at least several studies, have shown that the impact was seen more in people with high BMI compared to low BMI.
Interesting.
So then it may be the biohacking that we can do, even if there's something that's harmful out there. I think fixing ourselves to be able to receive and process it in a right way, we'll get away with it.
I agree, doctor. I think I really agree with what you're saying there. I'm going to ask you some dumb questions. Are you ready for it? Because I think one of the things I want to ask is, I've been reading about it. I still use a soap.
Okay.
I use Johnson's baby soap.
You will not...
Okay, the question I want to ask you is, okay, people are saying I should use a body wash because if you use a soap, it will dry your skin. But I'm very comfortable with soap.
I even have a post on Johnson's baby soap being used very commonly for the face and the body. It's okay.
It's okay, right?
Yeah.
Thank God.
You have my blessing.
Thank you. So why should some people not use soap? Or can everyone use soap?
No, I think some of us will find it very drying. That's because, you don't look at it as... If I were to qualify your question, I wouldn't say, is it okay for me to use soap? If I were to qualify it, I would say, is it okay to use soap? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I would say, is it okay for me to use soap?
Because it's totally an individual prerogative. Okay, it's not a common question.
Yeah. So is it okay for you to use soap if you are in a place which is humid, and if you feel comfortable, and if you don't feel dehydrated, if you have the ability to identify that your skin is not dry, I think you're good with it.
So which means Chennai humidity, it works. Maybe if I'm not from Chennai, some other city where
if you feel dry, you may actually say like, oh, the soap is drying me, let me switch to body wash. It may be a very spontaneous response when you're listening to the body. Okay. And the thing also is that at a certain age, we are fairly more resilient. We are most vulnerable when we are children, when the babies are vulnerable and the elderly are vulnerable.
Yeah.
In between, because of sebum, humidity, all of those things, most of us are protected to a large extent. And we as a population won't age that easily.
Yep.
we actually don't have that kind. We don't have that kind of wrinkling that the Westerners have. We have pigmentation issues.
Yeah, but I don't know. My wrinkle was just a fun because I'm not even bothered. You know me very good, right? The next question is going to go to hair. Before that, how much is stress a problem with skin and hair?
It's coming to be one of the major pillars that we have to work on. In all of our consultations and in most of my social posts also, I do talk about stress a lot because there is a feeling. Sometimes we say, don't get stressed; it can affect you. But there's hard data now. It's no longer a feeling. It's no longer a thought process or a guess. There is hard evidence to say that more stress can actually make you older. When I say older, our cells have to regenerate for X number of times. I'm not talking about appearance alone. I'm saying that there is a way that a cell remains young in terms of its ability to replicate, fix its own functions, manage the oxidation damage. But being stressed reduces the ability of the cell to do all of this. And therefore, the cell is older.
Okay.
Or it is not at its prime anymore.
Got it.
So at a cellular level also, there's a real impact. And therefore, chronic stress, which is uncompensated, what professionally we call a burnout.
Yep.
You're no longer able to function.
Yep.
It also happens to our body. And if you are the person, or if I'm the person with the gene where this imbalance can lead to a manifestation of, say, an autoimmune disease, I may go there. Cardiovascular disease, I may go there. So there is a certain construct which decides what is my vulnerable place. And then there is a common insult like stress. So with some people may say, yeah, but I'm stressed, I got diabetes, I'm stressed, but I didn't get a mental health issue. That is our own individual vulnerabilities.
Got it.
The common factor may hit us all differently.
Got it.
So then people usually say, but that is stress related and this is not. That depends upon who you are.
Yeah,
and
what's going inside. Each person is different, correct? Okay. You said we'll talk about hair. Okay, before that, according to you, sleep, stress, top two?
Sleep, nutrition, physical activity, then stress.
Okay, 5 things. If you can really watch these 5 parameters, a lot more can happen. Okay, now let's talk about this. This myth we have to break, correct? People losing hair, okay? And can it actually be stopped, or anyone can grow hair? Just break it down for us and tell us the finally for all the men, even for women these days, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge problem of losing hair, right?
Yeah.
What's the myth? Can you break it? What is actually possible with treatment?
You know the third molar.
You talk in layman language. Don't tell me third molar. Okay,
all right,
wisdom tooth.
The
Okay.
wisdom tooth, and you hear so many people getting the wisdom tooth out.
Yeah, even I've taken it out.
Because we no longer have the jaw space.
Yep.
It's an evolution that we are seeing in real time.
Yeah.
I believe, or I think, at least it's my theory, that we will not be meant to have more hair as we get into the next evolutions.
Okay. You're saying as we go forward, 50...
Hair loss may be a very common thing because we see it a lot, driven by exposome factors like stress, lack of sleep, genetics, all of those things.
So you're
Genetics is very
like
strong.
100, 200 years before, this was not there. The stress, the way life was not there. So everyone had hair like that. And this is a common thing.
Potentially.
Okay.
Like at least we know that, several hundred years back, everybody had space for wisdom teeth. And now we're seeing that change is happening. I think maybe we had a lot of hair for the body, at least initially to sun protection. I was reading this very nice paper on, how this was the main shock absorber as people used to club each other to death.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The hair was so important.
Yep.
It protected us from elements.
Yep.
And head injury was one of the common causes of death back in the, in the evolution, early days. So over a period of time, it may be that we are now in air-conditioned environments. Everything is well controlled. Yeah. So over the years, it may be that we don't really need this. The body at this point will sense it as a costly organ.
Correct.
And there's a possibility.
Okay, I think no one ever has spoken about hair in this context.
No, I was blown away by that paper.
That's a point to what you're saying. I agree. Go ahead. Okay.
I was blown away by that paper. It was like a scientific paper that talked about what is a possibility and how it is. Because maybe we don't need the certain things evolutionarily, and it may be a costly thing for the body. So the body is trying to jettison it off. We do not know. But I feel that more and more young men are coming in with hair loss compared to ever before. or more and more people are taking care of themselves like never.
So what can be done? Can it be reversed? What's the truth?
Okay. I'll give you the stats from the clinic.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you have data to prove it now.
I have data to put it out there. We have, in 70% of cases, we are able to do a very good job in terms of reversing it to a couple of stages with the simple, what we call as a standard management. Some management needs to be done. And what we select depends upon what they are comfortable with and what can make the results happen at the earliest possible time. In about 20% of cases, we don't follow the standard method. We may have to do something more, but we will see something, or we'll see maybe not like a good response. We will stay there.
Yeah, at least you prevent and hold it there.
Yeah, you hold it there. In about 10% of cases, we fail.
Okay.
The genetics just goes right past you.
Okay.
So this is like a 70-20-10 it was a big deal for, like for us to be able to say like, okay, we can do this in 7 out of 10 cases. For women, it can actually be much better because we don't have that continuous onslaught of the hormones. But then post-menopause, especially with metabolic conditions like PCOD, we are also seeing a similar change across both genders. But to be honest, I do feel that where people are able to give their lifestyle support to us, it's much easier.
So if they can work on the lifestyle also.
Yeah.
Okay. Who should come to a dermatologist when it comes to hair? At what stage should they come? Okay.
There are many causes for hair fall outside of a genetic cause. Like a normal balding is quite normal.
The male pattern
balding is quite normal. But if somebody feels, if there are other conditions, for example, people lose hair overnight when they have anemia, post-surgeries, or we have other conditions that can also cause, they have a patchy hair loss, which can be an immunological cause, definitely they should meet the dermatologist. But for male pattern hair loss, there are some parents that bring the kid who's least bothered. They're like, I'm cool with this. If you want, I will remain shaven throughout. I think that's not a candidate that needs to be put through certain things.
Okay.
But on the other hand, if it distresses people, then they need to come in.
If it works on your head, which means if your head works on your head, you need to come to a doctor. Okay, that was nice. I love the way I put it.
Talk about deep self-appreciation.
Yeah.
That's nice. Now, I think if they start seeing, people will usually notice that in their pillow when the hair fall is there, or if people point it out to them. Now, it's the most common thing is like under the light, the hair loss shows. It could be any of those things that.
So they can come to you or any dermatologist, and 70% probability you can really at least go back through stages and work it up.
I'm talking about 70% probability with medications, with
of whatever protocol you're going to give, they can start following that.
At least, yes, of course. See, when I say 70%, that's based on the population or the cohort audit that we have. But it's also possible for that individual, it's not 70% regrowth. I want to differentiate that.
Yeah. This is data you're saying. Basically, based on 10 people walked in, 7 people, you could do it based on a procedure. For 2 people, at least you stopped it there.
Yeah.
And for 1 person, nothing could be done.
You fail routinely. Yeah. But it's not that, they get, at least can I get 70%? No, that's not something that, Okay, and sometimes people ask this question as to, I don't want much. I just want to hold on to this.
Yeah, I think men are like that. Okay.
Can it be done without treatment? I'm like, even you say, I want to hold on to it, maybe like 8-9 words, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So you have to do treatment anyway because it's already started. You have to put a stop somewhere.
You already have the gene for it.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't bother you,
it's fine.
Don't start.
Like me, I was not bothered at all. Yeah. I was getting married. I already had a receding hairline. Shiny was very happy. She said, I like you the way. I said, thank God. That's the only person I have to think about. And I always say people that I look at the mirror only once. Only once I see like this.
Yeah.
90% other people say, I don't even bother what you think about me. So for me, it's different. But not everyone I know are like that.
Yeah.
I think.
We see a mix of all of that. Some of the kids that we see are like, I'm not even bothered. They've just dragged me in here. And also it's a matter of knowing what is required for who we want to become. So maybe if they understand that this aesthetics or appearance is not going to impact them at any level, I think that is still acceptable. The first consultation, the end of the first consultation, you have a standard line that says like, we've explained this. It's a long consultation for hair in the process. We explained this to give you the facts of the matter. If for some reason you should decide not to proceed, that's okay. Because this is not a disease we are treating.
Correct.
Because I need your commitment.
Yeah.
Because this is a long consultation, but at the end of it, 90% of the work is what you're going to do. You're going to eat right. You're going to sleep right. You're going to work out. You're going to
still change has to happen.
If you're not, on a scale of 0 to 10, if you're not 20 bothered, don't start.
Okay, that's like a disclaimer you give in the end. If you're not 100% in, please
Don't start, because sometimes you start, then you put yourself through something, because the results take 9 to 12 months to come in. You need to work on you're working in faith at all times.
Okay.
Right.
Now that we're talking about hair, there's one more myth. Like for men, I think if you shave your head, your hair grows again.
Yeah.
Is it true or not?
It's as bad as thinking that if you cut your nails, it grows faster. It's that bad.
Bad.
It's just keratin, and maybe when you shave, the cross section looks a little thicker as compared to when it tapers off at the end.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
So don't.
The growth, the germ of the hair growth, the hair follicle is like about a good 2 mm almost below.
So men, if you're watching this, it doesn't work. Okay, loud and clear. Oiling hair, because I think culturally we've been told put a lot of oil every single day, it'll help you for hair growth. Does that work?
No.
Really? One more myth we are breaking.
Hair growth is happening all over the world. We are the only ones oiling out here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work. Does it help, or is it a problem?
It was a cultural thing. Cultural thing. And if people have acne, pimples, and then they do this age-old habit of applying coconut oil overnight and sleeping it off, they actually get much worse pimples the next day. So definitely oil is an absolute no. I also feel that it served a different need at a different time.
Okay.
And right now, we are in a different place where we want grooming without having the discomfort of using oil. We want to not have pimples. We no longer do that. The grooming to make people wear their hair more expressively.
Yeah.
Everybody does different hairstyles and stuff. It's not like back then. If you walked down a street, 10 out of 10 heads will look the same.
Yeah.
And for that was a uniform back then to, apply the oil, comb it this way, plait it this way, fix it. Now it's a lot more different. And it was a stage of our lives.
Yeah, I agree. One more question with hair.
Uh-huh.
White hair, if you pluck it fully, it won't grow again.
You've plucked it, that's why. It'll go from its next hair growth cycle. It'll grow.
Yeah. That's a myth.
Yeah, in fact, one of the observations is that men who gray a little early, don't have as much progressive male pattern hair loss. It's something that we've noticed. We're trying to see if it is my theory.
So if you get grey hair, the probability of your male pattern is going to be longer. It won't come faster for you.
It seems like that based on our initial data.
Study.
But we still have to run it through a larger cohort of people to understand. I mean, we just have to do some population data analysis to look at that. But this kind of the research process around it is to think that maybe the testosterone targeting the pigmented hair. Maybe there's a different interaction in how it targets pigmented versus non-pigmented hair. And that may be a place to develop something that works on that modulation. But it's especially people with immune hair loss, especially people who have patchy hair loss, the regrowth happens for the grey hair first.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there is a different way that the cycle happens.
Salt and pepper is good.
For me, whatever you're comfortable with, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay. Any other things which you normally hear, which are like, come on, man, what a dumb question is that? Give me 2, 3 when it comes to hair and skin. Okay, let me ask one. Turmeric. Very famous in our culture, right?
Yeah.
Apply turmeric. Everybody says of grandmothers used to do, but you guys don't do it. It's good. Is it good or bad?
It's probably, turmeric is a photosensitizer. It's probably great when you take it internally.
Okay.
But for the skin, it's not recommended. We have seen a lot of turmeric worsening skin pigmentation.
Okay, turmeric grinded, pasted and put on skin is not...
Nothing, not anymore. I'm so sorry. Okay. But not anymore.
Breaking some myths here. Okay, good.
Yeah. And it's also that because it's culturally attached to some values, people usually think that we are, dissing whole, the heritage value.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just that the poor thing is actually a photosensitizer. That's how it is.
Okay.
It is also used in a number of food preservation technologies because it photosensitizes and protects the material. So it's not something that, and on the skin, it photosensitizes and stimulates pigmentation. So it's not something that we really want all of us to be doing. Earlier, even people used to apply all kinds of turmeric powder, related turmeric.
Yeah,
not the
turmeric
same thing.
creams and powders these days.
Earlier it used to be that it's not exactly turmeric, but a related compound. We used to apply and then remove the hair and all of that. And just now we laser it.
Yeah.
It's just that we are in a slightly different world in terms of how our current lifestyle is, and it just makes sense to get on and move on with it.
Yeah.
As long as it is effective and safe.
Correct.
Waxing, for that matter, we see a lot of shift to laser hair removal because waxing causes burns also.
Yeah.
But at least with laser, the burns, the occurrence is so less. Plus, it gives you long-term permanent hair reduction. So it's not like, but we all did this. We all did this because that was the only thing back then.
Yeah, you didn't have an option that time, right?
Yeah. So then we need to not hold on to
So you're just saying basically let's upgrade with what knowledge and technology we have. Why are we sticking to old age things which is actually affecting you also?
If you want to listen to old age things, then go to sleep early. That's something that you heard.
Yeah, why are you not listening to that?
Why are you not listening to that? Why is that acceptable and why not this?
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree. Okay, let me ask you one more thing. Can skin color change with creams?
If you've been tanned, for example, when you go out to dive and your skin color actually changes to become darker.
Yeah.
It will change back to its original
It will
color.
normally come after some time, right?
It takes its own sweet time. Sometimes you can have long-lasting pigmentation after 9 months.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Some people tend to maintain it longer than that. So we would try our best to come back to a natural native
Again,
color.
it's person to person.
It's a lot dependent on conditions, yes.
Conditions, okay.
Now, when you think about somebody becoming lighter, usually you hear this, right? People usually comment on so-and-so actress looking like this color, then they got lighter and all of that. All of us, if you remember the days that we were in NCC and NSS, we were 5-6 shades darker.
Correct.
At that point in time, neither was there sunscreen, nor did we care.
Correct.
Right? Therefore, there will always be a difference in color for someone who's predominantly indoors versus someone outdoors.
Outdoors, correct.
And usually is the progression. Outside of that, I get brought babies, which are like, newborns and stuff, and say, how do I lighten? I don't even ascribe to that anymore because the problem is that you can have a very good, healthy, clear, bright skin. The goal for us would be to try and prevent pigmentary conditions. But lighter isn't essentially something that's sustainable because we go out in light.
Yeah.
Visible light will make our skin darker. System light has the potential to make things darker.
Okay.
Because the darkening is a protective response. That is a response that is protecting us from skin cancer.
Correct.
The skin will do that as long as it's healthy.
So it's doing its work technically.
It's doing its job.
Yep.
That's about it. Then why do we wear sunscreens at all? Because we can get more pigmented when we expose ourselves more.
So you're just doing a protective layer for that.
That's about it.
That's
about it. It's as simple as that.
Okay, Renita, we're going to talk about 2 things which most people searched on internet for you. Okay? One was your age and one was about your spouse. Nobody knows about your spouse. I'm not going to ask your age. Okay, leave that.
My age is common knowledge though.
Okay.
I'm 44.
44. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so-
Okay.
About the spouse, I think there's a choice that he intends to remain elusive.
Okay.
And he works with the visual medium. That's as much I'm allowed to share.
Okay, he's very particular.
He is very particular. That
Let's give him that privacy and space, right? Karthik likes to be behind the scenes, does his work. He does his own thing.
Yeah, we have our own spheres of work. We interact and exchange and get help from each other as much as what's required to function. But beyond that, we are our own people. And generally, it's commonly assumed that there is a lot of overlap when somebody is visible and somebody is not. There is. We share stuff. There is a sharing of work and all of those things. But and I also have a huge comfort level and gratitude in terms of how he has been a support without being very obvious about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's his thing. And I have a lot of requests on social media, like one family picture, one. I think back in the days, we used to post a lot on Facebook and Orkut.
Those Orkut days, I remember.
Orkut days. But now I think it's one of his requests that I keep it, that he is very reticent about the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember. I was here for your last year chosen event and I know Karthik, correct? So we were sitting next to me and I don't think anyone knew he was your husband. An amazing forum. And thankfully, we need to thank our spouses for what we do.
Yeah.
Right? Without that, we can't do, right? Without
Yeah.
that support system.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, how do you balance? You have a kid at home. How old is she?
She is 11.
11. And all through that, you've been building your business also, right?
Yeah.
How did you manage both?
I think she kind of, her arrival kind of gave me the energy to go and do more. I was very much a closed person up until the time I had her. And I think I went back, I was working till 2 hours before the delivery. And I went back 20 days after.
I think you set a record now for all the women out there.
No,
it is possible.
There are.
I just want to tell people it is possible.
It is possible. There are many examples. I've heard of this story, these legends about a professor in CMC who delivered somebody and then got onto the delivery table herself.
So those are your benchmarks to go for. Yeah.
I think it's normal, usual.
Yeah.
So, but I went back quite early because back then I didn't have like other people in the practice, so I had to get back to work. So I've always been lucky in that I had a very good support system, families from both sides. I've had immense help in terms of how we've been able to give her a fairly comfortable presence with so many adults around. So I think it's been a village.
Yeah.
It's taken a village.
Yeah.
My personal gratitude is also that she is into a little bit of reading, writing. I think
Sure, it's a mini Dr. Renita in the making.
she overthinks like me. No, I think there's a mix of music. She's very passionate about music. I think there's a mix.
So the media also is there.
We're being very careful here about.
So we can't find what media is there. Okay, fine.
How much we disclose. So I believe that her understanding right now, we have many heart-to-hearts at this point. I forget the name of the chats that we have. We have certain chats where I take a problem to her and then I get Gyan, and it happens vice versa. I forget, we have a session like that on and off. And then we also have certain rituals like the way we say bye to each other every day. I think by building these rituals into the day, I'm making up for not being there physically. I do spend much less time than I would otherwise wish to. But she's also fairly able to see where it is, because I'm very transparent about, here is what happened. Today I'm going in for something. What do you think? So she's in the conversational stage, girl child, so it's so much easier to communicate. So I'm very lucky that way.
But amazing to watch what you've done, Doc, because the way you built your brand, and I know you're very compassionate. We love what you do. You really want to be there. I just want to tell to all the women watch that it is possible. It is possible, and I always love women who go out and do things. And it's okay if you want to be a homemaker. It's your choice.
Yeah.
It's a complete your choice.
Yeah.
Both works, right? There's no right or wrong, whatever works for you. But if you want to build something, I don't think you should give kid or family as an excuse, because you can do it together, right? And thank you for inspiring women that it's possible. And I love the way you build Chosen. Love the way you build Chosen. What is the future of Chosen?
I believe that with the right kind of data backing it up, we will get a lot of insights on skin of color. And I want to be able to, now you've seen biohacking happening in every field. I want to be able to provide that guideline for Indians, how Indian skin must be treated. And I see that the problems that will be identified by this, in this methodology, will be what Chosen addresses. So I see that the larger picture would be something that a dermocosmetic brand that makes a lot of sense, not trend-based, trend-based stuff that comes and goes, but stuff that actually works for our skin type, but based on solid data, which evolves over a period of time. So it has to be something. I see this as being a go-to brand for people with problems that are specifically melanin-led and our skin type. So
so you will kind of customize the solution on science and data for that particular person.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be something great to go. Now that talking about data, we have a lot of influence and creators telling X, Y, Z on social media. I don't know what they think about how they do it. What is your message for people who watch those things?
So there is a lot of comfort in ignorance, because you really do not know what you're talking about. You can say anything.
Yeah.
Those people who know a little bit really struggle, because you want, at times you're paranoid that what if between the time I wrote up this data and I'm speaking about it on Instagram, what if somebody else published a paper otherwise?
Okay. Now you're talking an expert who actually has got the knowledge, thinking twice what to say.
Yeah.
Because it's so dynamically, it's changing.
Exactly.
Against people who have absolutely no knowledge.
Yeah.
Doing Google and whatever and throwing out data because they have followers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Do
the
this
distinction.
because-
That's a huge distinction.
Do this because it's so, it's not black and white ever. And because it happens to be, we spoke so many times about how people are different in the way they respond to something.
Correct.
We can only put out information out there and say, here is how it helps.
Yeah.
But I think Instagram incentivizes, social media incentivizes for short attention spans.
Yeah.
So then has to be there.
Because people want quick fixes. So that's why these influencers get carried away, because everybody's looking for quick fixes. You just this magic one, do this and this is problem solved. People don't even think and they just do it.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of people who see these videos, have problems and come to you.
Yes.
Okay.
We have had a whole
Give me the top 2 things. which people-
garlic for acne, garlic for pimples.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Okay.
Instead of treating pimples, you will now be treating pimples and pigmentation from the garlic burn.
Oh boy.
Toothpaste on pimples.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So those are the most common things.
So these are people mostly must have seen some in some video. Or heard from someone, or somebody must have told them through WhatsApp. And
This steroid application on the face is so big on YouTube. It's not so much on Instagram, but it's so big on YouTube, saying, how can you get clearer skin from this cheap steroid cream? And we end up treating them for months to get
so it's a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So next time you're watching a video, please go back, check data, go to your dermatologist, okay? Please ask before doing anything else. Please ask for help. Anything else from people seeing online and doing stuff and coming to you?
We have people trying all kinds of, people do vitamin C serums in the morning, which actually oxidizes on the skin. People do
Bad idea.
step Korean.
Bad idea.
Bad idea.
Vitamin C should be taken.
Vitamin C in the evenings or nights. In the morning, it's a light sensitive material. But because it is something that's come up from the West, then people tend to do that a lot more. In terms of the 10-step Korean routine, people put all kinds of gunk on the face and end up with a lot of acne.
Yeah.
So we this happens, but every season will be different. There'll be some problem this year.
So there's no common problem. For you, every 3 months is a new set.
And then it'll come back annually.
Okay. Okay. There's a seasonal cycle also.
That happens. And this is the season when everybody sends me reels about, do sunscreens cause cancer?
Okay.
A normal season for that. And after that, there will be something around monsoons and stuff. So this is quite normal. So one of the problems is that, especially in Instagram, you don't have an index or search.
Yeah.
So we end up having to create content, the same content every year.
Yeah, that's the problem with Insta, right? Yeah, you can't, people
I
can't
love-
search for it.
Yeah, I
So-
love YouTube so much more better that way. At least it'll, even if you've finished making a video, it'll at least play back.
Yeah.
Be useful.
You're not an extrovert, according to me. You're somebody who loves your book, loves your travel, and nobody is there. You will love your life. But you're happening in Instagram. How did that happen?
Now, I'm only an extrovert for the time that I'm in front of the camera. The whole drama started when some other clinic started advertising with my photo.
Oh.
I'm a reluctant, I really didn't mean to get onto Instagram. I did have Facebook back then, but that was only family and
For friends, yeah.
it was probably being on it because everybody was on it. Right? But when it came to Instagram, it was just repeatedly that somebody was trying to impersonate. So then we decided that I would get onto it. But initially, I used to love the community. Again, it was like an extended kind of chat because I used to chat with people. I'm still in touch or contact with friends on Instagram from back in the days when I wasn't really posting as a creator or as who I am right now. So I do carry, and some of those friendships have really endured time. But probably post-COVID, especially during COVID, I did see a need to connect more because there's so much of misinformation coming in. I felt it was the responsibility that derms are not putting all the information ourselves. While we are complaining about how much wrong information comes in there, it is our prerogative to actually put out the right information there. So I felt that was a calling after. And I love teaching. I love explaining concepts. But I think if Instagram crashed, I wouldn't mind.
Okay, you won't complain.
I'm not complaining.
You won't complain. But what you do really makes a lot of sense. I think it's knowledge people need when it comes from somebody like a professional I think it really, really helps. So please continue what you do on Instagram. I think you're helping a lot more people out there. And I love the way you do Instagram reels. It's very quite casual, very easy. So it takes a lot of toll on you, or you're fine now?
I think of late I'm just going with the flow. I've started blogging again. I used to be a blogger. I've started blogging again. I think I take the whole thing very casually now after my book. I think I am the long form person, and I'm enjoying podcasts right now. For me, this short form attention grabbing thing feels not me. I do it because I think that's the way that the medium works. But over a period of time, I'd like to have more books. I'd like to write, easily readable books that people may enjoy about a topic. So that's the long-term desire. I may even do, audio podcasts which people like to listen to in their own time. But for me, it's the written word.
Written word. Okay. To all the women entrepreneurs listening out there, what would your message to be for them?
It is not easy, but it's possible. The idea would be to try, and I know it's difficult. I have not completely done that. To try and keep the self-pity out, the self-flagellation out in terms of I'm not doing it perfectly well, or why does this have to be me? I recall a quote from Bhavna Balakrishnan, the TV personality, the presenter. She said, we ought to be able to deserve the opportunities we get. It is so strong in my head.
Yep.
That sometimes we either work very hard around, landing the opportunity. That becomes the issue to solve, than growing with it. You cannot grow a business without growing self.
100%.
It's just not possible.
100%.
It will make you a different person. If you really have to, for example, outside of becoming a graduate or a dermatologist after finishing, versus somebody that actually makes sense to a client or a patient or somebody sitting in front of you, there will be a change to the personality. There will be a continuum of who you become over a period of time. I would want my fellow women entrepreneurs or women in business to accept that process and hopefully direct that process towards good. Then it becoming a dialogue about, I will never get this done because it has to be done perfectly, or I will never get this done because I started somewhere else. But to be able to go out and get help.
Yep.
We are also very close to getting help very easily. I think that has to
change. Be
broken.
I totally agree with what you said, because for me, somebody asked me in an interview a couple of years before, like success Gyan, 12 years, so many coaches, so many million transformation. What is the one thing you're very proud of? Just one thing. Now that was a tough question. But when I actually thought, the one thing I'm very proud of is the person I've become in the last 12 years.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, right? The personal growth, how you see yourself. Because you need to work on yourself. It's not easier, right? As you said, to create anything is not easy. You need to work. The personal growth has to happen. It's a lot of responsibility. But that's where the kick comes in. Yeah. Because you're better than who you were last day, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Quick question for women entrepreneurs out there. How much important is to build a personal brand in today's time?
I think it's not just for the women entrepreneurs, it's just for everybody out there, because there is we've all realized that discovery happens online, discovery happens in the public domain. So that if you intend to provide a service or a treatment or a product, then it is important that you be discoverable. And there are a few domains in which you don't have to be discoverable, but a product can speak for it. Even there, you may not be in social media, but you will be in some other media, where it makes it easy for the person who needs the product to find you. All entrepreneurs, all of us entrepreneurs, and just not entrepreneurs, okay.
It can be professionals also.
Yeah.
Anybody.
But I guess I'll complete it and you see how it goes. Like literally all of the entrepreneurs, we are not so much making a product, but solving a problem.
Correct.
The joy comes from solving a problem when somebody uses something that you made and they are happy.
Correct.
It's the high from that.
Correct.
In that case, whatever you create, however fantastic it is and whoever you're creating it with, if it doesn't solve a problem, and therefore you will be left bereft of the joy that you see when somebody is using it, and your journey is gone.
Correct.
Therefore, that person must be able to find you.
Yeah.
To that extent, you must be discoverable,
Yeah.
which is solved by a personal brand as of now.
So you need to build a personal brand.
You need to.
Because that's the best way to connect with the person you're problem solving, and that's the best high you get.
Yeah.
I always say people, 2 times I get very excited. One is when I learn something new. Correct? Then when I meet people. When I meet customers in a program, I get super excited because that's the only time I get to understand what happens, how people process the training programs, what has happened in life. That's the same thing, right? And today discovery is very important because irrespective of what you're doing, people want to search you in Google and see who you are.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
The social proof is very, very, very important today. Okay. Any final words for the people here who are watching? Irrespective of men, women, final words.
I think the most important game-changing, the most important aspect in my journey has been about the ability to learn as you go. Sometimes the going can get very hard, but the learning shouldn't stop because that's typically the engine that keeps everything driving. So I hope that along the journey, it should not be a do or die. It should be do and enjoy.
Yep.
If the thought process is to do and die, we are not building longevity into our professional lives, and that doesn't work. I hope to whoever's watching this, I hope that you get to do a lot and enjoy all of the journey.
Doc, we have a ritual in Greater Than Podcast. Okay, one ritual is we do something called 3 to 1, and you have no idea what it is. 3 things, right? 3 books. I know you read a lot of books, right? If it's only 3 books, what would they be?
The first one would be the Almanac of Naval Ravikant.
Yeah.
It is a classic, and I think people need to read it over and over. The second one is a leadership transition, a book that I'm reading right now, but it helps a lot in understanding what you have to become to rise to the next step. So that's been very impactful. And can I say 4? No.
Yeah, you can go for. No problem. Go for it.
So the other one is the Internal Family Systems. It's by Dr. Schwartz, and it talks about how we are always taught to think about the mono mind, where we say silence all the voices. This one says identify all the voices and allow them to speak to each other.
It's a very
so that it can help you.
It's a paradigm shift in the way you think.
It is the basis for the movie Inside Out, the animation movie.
Oh.
So the 5 emotions. So that's there. I really like that. I can stop at 3.
Yeah, you can stop with 3. Done with 3. Okay, cool. Okay, 2 things. 2 lifestyle habits of yours, which has helped you reach here.
Getting to bed early. And
how early is early?
I am useless in conversation after 9.
Okay. Okay.
I usually go to bed around 9 to 9:30, and after that I think it's if I sleep between 9 to 9:30, I have a very good quality of sleep. So that's typically it allows me to wake up at 4:30, so that's also comfortable.
Okay.
And the second habit that I have is very reluctant to get on but have been fairly regular is my workout. I think the workout habit has been very helpful for maintaining health, which is important for work.
Yep.
Sometimes we deprioritize, but I'm grateful I started that when I started that.
So work out and go to bed early. Okay.
Yeah.
1 core value which has helped you reach here.
Never stop learning and adapting.
Okay, she's a big brand ambassador for Success Gyan, because we always say you have to be a lifelong learner, right? Okay, good. That's your 1. Okay. Now we have one more tradition here. We have a set of affirmation bands here with greater than symbols. You can pick up whichever resonates with you.
Okay. I'm just going to
you can
take
go
a
through
moment
those and
to
take whichever
go over.
works for you.
Yeah. Okay, now I'll go over, then I will shortlist.
Yeah.
We'll do a long list and a short list and then come there. I really like this. My progress is greater than me.
Okay.
Because that kind of also, there's another one called my action is greater than my intention. But then I guess you can extrapolate that, I have a nice saying that I keep using also, which is, your actions speak so loud, I can't hear your words.
Wow.
Yeah. So my progress more than me is there, because sometimes I think we get in our own way. This is a short list for me. My purpose more than me, I think I'm gonna go with this. This is really good. It's white, so looks nice. And then I also love this because I keep talking about the largest impact. It talks about my impact is greater than my influence. So these are my two short lists.
So you're the only guest who picked two. Okay, we're going to give you. It's okay. You can have two. No problem. You've been given that leverage for two.
There's also this. I'm more than my fears. I really think that it also looks attractive in green and all that. But I think I'm just going to
We'll stick to two then.
Yeah.
Okay, three will never happen, I guess. Okay, two might happen in future of my podcast. Three, no chance. We'll stick to two.
I can take 3.
Okay, go for 3. Nobody's stopping you.
Yeah. What do you think will not happen? We'll make that happen here.
Okay, let's make it happen. Okay.
Then I'm going with my action more than my intention.
Thank you.
Now this looks good. This looks good, so I can just kind of.
So you have 2 blacks and 1
Yeah,
white. Okay, you're a combination now.
Yeah. So
Great. Thank you so much for this conversation. Thoroughly enjoyed. All the very best. I really want Chosen to go to the next level because the vision you have is a vision for the country, because you really want to create a product which can impact the masses the way skincare is done in the future. Okay. That's something like Elon Musk and Mars. So well done. All the very best wishes.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being an amazing host. Thank you so much.
Thank you for staying till the end. This podcast is about helping you shift perspectives, push your limits, and take steps that actually move you forward. Just remember that you're greater than anything life throws at you. I am Surendran Jayshekhar signing off. We'll see you again next Friday at 8 p.m. Until then, love yourself. Don't take life too seriously. Live a life of meaning and purpose.